Looks good, sound good. Appreciate it, Millie. Hi, Caleb, the Technotron, David, Brent. Appreciate all of you stopping by. We got live stream number 9 here. Lola is being super sleepy. She didn't really want to sit up and say hi to everybody, but she might chill out in my lap here for a minute. I got a you're welcome, Technotron. I got a bag in this weekend from it's DGcoolerBag. I thought they were nice enough to send me one over for testing, so I'm gonna unbox that here just shortly and check that out. I thought I'd show you their website real quick. Before you open the box, DGcoolerBag.com. You can buy them straight off their website. Also, if they're not currently, I know there's intentions of it being on Amazon and eBay. The best place to buy it is just from the website. I'm sure that Amazon takes a cut, so if you want to support the small business that's actually selling these, then I'd recommend going right to their website, DGcoolerBag.com. It's kind of an old school style bag, as you can see there, with the cooler insert, and it comes with backpack straps. 4 different colors, so I have no idea what we've got here. I'm excited to check it out. It says 13 discs plus cooler, or 22 discs without. 9 can max cooler. $73.95 looks like is the retail on that. So I'm psyched. Hey, hi, how's it going? Good evening, or good morning, or whatever time it is wherever you're at. I know a chunk of people that watch my videos are doing it from across an ocean, so I never know. Let's crack straight into it. It's packed into a pretty small box. Lola is probably going to get interested here. She likes smelling new boxes. You gotta figure wherever it came from had its own unique smells, Oh, we got a green one. Actually, maybe he did ask me what color I wanted, and I said green. That's probably the color I would have said if I was asked. Packaging order in there. That shipped out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. David, it says it looks great on their site. Kind of want to find a smaller bag to pair with my red feather. Yeah, I'm excited to try this one. I tried the, what's it called? The Fade Crunch Box, that pink bag I reviewed a little bit ago. It brought back memories of running with smaller bags, and also with having just reviewed the Dynamic Disc Commander cooler bag, I thought it would be neat to try another bag with a cooler in it, because there aren't too many of them out there. Chad Yodoth just tuned in. Hey Chad, you perfect timing. We're just about to crack this thing open. Millie, oh, you're in Chattanooga? Or in Tennessee at least? I wonder if they're local. Yeah, there was a little spot on that website I seen. They also do cowbells. I think that's kind of how it started off, like cowbells for sporting events, just noisemakers. I didn't realize that. When I've been emailing with the owner back and forth, I knew the email was cowbell something, and I didn't, I was like, I don't know what that means. But now I see they actually do like some custom noisemaker cowbell things that look pretty cool. I lived in Chattanooga for a few months, Millie. I played at the Sinks course. I've actually got a bag tag back here from the Chattanooga Flying Disc Club. Let's see if that'll make the camera pull focus. Yeah, Chattanooga Flying Disc Club, tag number 7 in 2009. Yeah, 2009 I spent some time down in Chattanooga. Couldn't find good work while I was there, so I kept on moving on. Utah was my next stop after that. I can see we got some hard plastic feed on the bottom of this. A little rounded nubs. Hell yeah, I play the sink several times a week. Wow, that tag is old. Yeah, I'm old. Yeah, and there's a little documentary out about disc golf for Utah, for around Tennessee or Chattanooga that I watched a while ago. Man, it was really cool. The Technotron, what do you think of custom bags and carts? Like, share stuff we have. Yeah, I love seeing pictures of custom stuff. There's a thread on the DGCR forum about custom carts. Somebody just posted a picture of a sweet PVC cart that I saw earlier today. Yeah, I'd be psyched to see anything you've made. Somebody put a handmade bag up I saw on the Disc Golf Reddit just in the last week or so also. That was pretty cool. Lola's just shedding like crazy while I'm petting her here. So I know there's a little bit of assembly required on this thing. I think that's these pieces I just pulled out of here. It's saying to visit the website and click on bag assembly instructions. And there's some pictures there. And then there's also a coupon code in here. Eric is the name of the owner. It looks like this business card here. Red Bank, Tennessee. I don't know where Red Bank is. Oop, okay. You want to get up and say hi to everybody, or are you leaving, Lola? You're. She's ready to go. Millie, you saw that one on Reddit too? Yeah, it looked really nice. Elite, FD3 or Firebird. I prefer Sexton Firebird. I really do like those. If I was forced to choose between any other run of Firebird or an FD3, I'd probably pick FD3. I do like a little bit flatter for that style of disc. And definitely Firebirds tend to be a little flatter, but on the FD3 side, it's Doombirds that I really like. So I can make either work flight-wise. The difference to me is feel of the hand. Red Bank's just north of Chattanooga. The Technotron, I just made a cart out of a baby jogger, holds 80 plus discs and whatever I want. I've pushed a jogging stroller before. You know, if you really want to carry a cooler with a lot of ice and be the hero that can also have your random doubles partner put his bag on your cart, it's pretty nice. Okay, so let's see what we got in here. Oh, the cooler is color matched. No way. I didn't even think about that. I like that. Sometimes it can take things a little while for them to take shape and whatnot. It's not always the best representation to show off a product when it's been shipped in a small bag like that, but you know I'll do a full test and then review this thing later. You got a handle on top of that cooler. It's lightly insulated, as you'd expect. We'll set that aside for now. There's our backpack straps. with the their logo on there. I don't know how close it's going to let me get with that focus. It's a little hard to see in the reflection. Counter stripe. I made a mini cart for my son, about $40 at Lowe's. Lawnmower wheels, toolbox is the main compartment. Aluminum pole bent into a base/handle. Lawnmower wheels, I like it. Toolbox is the... So it's probably at a low center of gravity on that one, I bet. I like the jogging stroller wheels quite a bit. There is padding in here. It is pretty thin. It's about the same as the, it might actually, I wonder if it's the same material that's insulating the cooler. Let me mute my phone. Benjamin just popped into Patreon and dropped some dollars. Thank you, Benjamin. I don't know if you're in the chat here today. Counter stripe, it's all pretty light. The toolbox is plastic. That sounds like a sweet rig. The thing that's always, I think, would be the most challenging for me if I was really trying to do a custom style cart is bearings for the wheels, getting an axle situation figured out. Yeah, I've seen that Millennium Draco that Brandon's talking about. He's got 2 of them actually. They look really sweet. Counter stripe, that was the main reason I chose it to be custom. It needed to be light. Gotcha. Oh, Big Red, that was you. I saw your name. Thank you. Just join some of the other Bowie boys in your Patreon. Can't leave Sepp in there alone. I appreciate it. That's awesome. I'll get your name down in that scrolling bar here next time around. I should ask people, I think, what name they'd like in there. Some people might not want their first and last name, or they might want a nickname or something like that. I've been using whatever it shows on Patreon, but I'll have to message people and ask what they want. You're some dude Inc. on Slack. I think you told me that before. I knew there was a... You want your real name on there, Big Red? I'll do that. That does make it harder for me to track. Like, you got one name in Slack, you've got a different name on YouTube, and then a third, your real name on Patreon. But it's all good. I totally appreciate the support. So it's a 4-connector strap. It's got length adjustment on each part, and then plastic full swiveling quick clips. We'll set that aside. They also include a single strap. Yeah, with the sliding. This was the potential issue on the Fade bag, is that this piece of webbing didn't go through their shoulder strap. It's a little simple thing there, but that makes total sense. Definitely makes it stronger. Counter stripe. I'll be in your neck of the woods next week, moving from OC to the Midwest. The job is letting me go remote, so I'm 100% done paying OC housing. Orange County, I guess you're talking about, California. Stopping to do early Thanksgiving in SLC. Yeah, man, if you want to get out for a round of golf, I'd be down. Hit me up if you want to throw. I mean, we're short on daylight, and maybe the timing wouldn't work, but I'd be psyched to get in a social distancing masked round, because that's how we do it now. Okay, so I got all kinds of panels in here. I tried to pull all of them out, but this one needs to stay. It's attached to the bottom. It's got a little hardboard on the very bottom side, and then a little bit of padding on top. Let me drop this. I'm gonna take the Patreon Ace Hunter scroll off of there. just to give it a little bit more room to so you can see what's going on. Just here for an hour or two, that's understandable. Back to Ohio. I lived in Columbus at one point. That was actually the first time I ever played on a disc golf course, was somewhere in or near Columbus, Ohio. I don't remember. I was very young. My dad had me playing disc golf when I was just a young kid. I don't know, 5 years old or something. Okay, first thing I noticed here is there's actually an interior zipper pocket on this one side. Ooh, focus, camera. It's trying. Look at it work. So that's on the from the front. That's the left side. Full side pocket. Hey, disc golf nerd in the chat. We got YouTube celebrity in here now, boys. Yes, DGN. This is totally an old school bag. Let's see if I can figure out some assembly here. So I did cheat. I looked at the assembly pictures on the website already. Good luck with the snow coming in. Okay, so we've got a U channel with 2 strips of Velcro on each side. So that's going to sit in there like that. We'll go ahead and take, well, let's see, how wide is this cooler? So I think I'm going to put the first divider like on the very outside. Go just like that. I looked at the instructions, but I'm already not following them. Yeah, not missing the snow, but it's worth paying a fourth the mortgage. Yeah, I hear you, man. Something to be said for being in an arid climate, though, I gotta say. I've lived in a lot of humid places, and I think I'd have trouble doing it again. Okay, so that's slightly off. I definitely have some adjustment there. You can see I put that piece of divider on the furthest outreaches of the Velcro, and then on the other side of the cooler I've got a little bit of extra room, so that's not exactly going to get me dead center, but I've been debating getting a smaller bag for shorter courses so I don't have to drag my Ranger H2O around everywhere. Yeah, Big Red, I think the H2O is a little bit of a heavy bag, I want to say. The Combat Ranger that I just tested is really nice, though. Huge fan of the Soldier Bag. That's also DD. I haven't ever tried one of those. You guys can probably hear some thundering noises. Whoever lives above me likes to sprint back and forth across their apartment at random times, and now is one of them. A friend just brought back out his Revolution bag and quad shock straps. Oh man, that's a throwback, Chad. That's sweet. Thrasher is a very throwable, faster disc for normal folks, though. Especially like to hyzer release them. Yeah, I've thrown right about when I started trying the Hades DGN and Elite 30. Right when I got the Hades, I got some Thrashers also. That was the first time I'd thrown Thrashers, and both were fun. I lean towards the new hotness, though. Got into the Hades. Sweet, Big Red. I'm glad you're psyched for the Ranger review. Yeah, I'll have it out. Well, actually, you can watch it right now. You just signed up for Patreon. I already released it on there. But it'll be out for everybody else on Tuesday. I really like the Fossa Skinny 2 for casual light rounds. Yep. Yeah, Brandon and I are both into the Fossa Skinny. I don't think I've actually taken that gray one out yet. I've been carrying so many different bags to test them. Millie, you've got 2 friends that use Revolution bags. Yeah, those haven't been out for quite a while. Yeah, Thrasher is why I wouldn't need a Hades, too similar. Yeah, I heard you comment that a couple times in your videos, DGN. It makes sense to me. You were already invested in Thrashers, it sounded like. It's hard to... They did seem to fly so similar. And really, the Hades are varying quite a lot, especially the Protos. I can confirm that Protos were varying a lot. The main run on the Hades, I don't know. I haven't got my hands on enough of them to test, and I'm not sure I will do that. I wish they had the gray one in stock. Millie, are you talking about the Fossa? I think they were working on some new colors on those. I can't recall. Jestix Voyager V2, the MVP bag. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to digging in and trying out the MVP. Elite 30, if you're asking me on the Destroyer, I don't know if you're asking, still talking to DGN, not too many. I sold almost all of my Destroyers. I kept just a few, like the few that were really special to me. I did a video that's just for the Ace Hunters for Patreon, where I walk through, show off, and tell stories about every single Innova disc I own. So I could go back through that video and look and count them, but if you're curious about my Innova stuff, I've paywalled it. It's going to cost you $1 to get on my Patreon and find out. I might release it to everybody someday, but... Flat top 165 ESP Thrasher that's absurdly flippy. Lighter weight Big Z would be second for most understable Thrashers. Interesting. The Technotron, I got a Jawbreaker Zone and it was super straight, and that makes me want to keep throwing a Pro Pig. But do you think I should just try a Zone in a different plastic first? I don't know if I missed an earlier part of your conversation or if you're straight firing that question at me there, Technotron. Oh, a Jawbreaker Zone, and it was super straight. Yeah, Jawbreaker is definitely straighter. That is the straightest zone that I'm aware of. It's the straightest that I've tried, at least. That was actually about perfect for me. It was a Jawbreaker Zone, but then I switched to Tactics. If you like a Pig, you should just keep playing with a Pig. Like, the Pig has some really unique properties, especially in how it sticks to the ground. The ground play on the Pig is so much different than ground play you'll get with any zone, I believe. But yeah, Z or ESP on or Crystal or Crystal Flex or pretty much any zone will be more overstable than Jawbreaker. And change or beat up less. I see a Velcro tab floating back here. That's got to be for rolling up the top. Oh, and they've put a little... Oh, I think I really like that. There's a little buckle back there. One of the things that bugs me about this style bag is that a lot of times for your roll top, which seems to be the thing to do, you end up with some Velcro that rubs against your back and will pull at your shirt. It appears to be dinner time. I'll pop back in if you are still hanging in a little while. Cheers. Appreciate it, DGN. Thanks for stopping by. With that style, it has a little buckle that I put the Velcro through and then pull the Velcro back. So that's not exposing, you know, a random, like a Velcro tail to my back. It's keeping that pointed forward. That's a cool little detail. Is this right? Seems like it wants to fit the other way or something. Oh, we're in there. You can see how it's kind of, it's ovaling on me. The whole thing is kind of bowing. Just sticks. Yes, this is the DGcoolerBag. Retails for 70, I don't know, 74 bucks, something like that. That's a nice touch to hold the flat back. Yeah, Brandon, I think it's perfect. And then we've got putter pocket, and mini. Chase, I'm in the market for a new bag. My $20 Innova Destroyer bag just really is not cutting it. Budget is about $120, $150. Any suggestions? I mean, the Skinny 2 is in that range, and that's kind of what a number of us were just raving about. It depends. You know, one thing that really helps us give you better feedback is if you say your minimum number of discs, your maximum number of discs that you think you might want to carry, and then some idea of how much extra stuff. Like, you know, do you want to carry a jacket possibly and a certain number of beverages? The Voyagers, yep, the Voyagers are in that range, in that price range as well. The DD Commander series, the normal Commander that I have on the wall right there, and the Commander Cooler, they're both also in that range. So that's a smaller size mini. I was thinking it looked like it's kind of a tight mini compartment, but it might just be how much that elastic is pulling. And then here's a bigger mini. I don't think that one's gonna fit. Oh man, which disc to load for the next ace hunt? Yeah, that mini's not going in there. Yo, Sep, how's it going, man? How's your evening? You ready to start another week? Oh, even that putter slot is actually tight. That's a pretty sticky putter I'm trying to slide in there. Living large. Not necessarily excited about Tuesday, to be honest. Oh, it's because the world might end. Millie, yeah, I've thrown the AGL discs a decent amount, and I have another box of AGL showing up tomorrow. I'm going to do another live stream to open that box. I might not stream it tomorrow. I might wait till a little bit later in the week. I don't know yet. But yeah, I've gotten a decent amount of hucks in with the AGL, stuff. Okay, Chase is saying minimum 15 discs, maximum 23. I'd like to be able to hold a jacket, Nalgene or two, a mini, phone, wallet, and keys. So the Nalgene or two is kind of an important breaking point because they're like the Fossa, for example, has a single beverage holder. So if you want a second Nalgene or a bunch of beverages, then you have to dedicate some of the storage in the main compartment to set your other one. Sep, dang it, AGL hooking it up. I paid for an order. I mean, I got a sweet discount still on AGL, and I think there's going to be some surprises in that package. I think AGL added some extra discs in for me, but I was happy to spend some money and get some more discs from them. They hooked me up so good the first time. So yes, I have Magnolias coming. Millie says the Commander can do that. Yeah, the Commander sure can. I'd say that the Fossa Skinny 2 does have a better top storage access, disc use compartment. Sup, Doth? Hey, David. How's it going? Jacket's a little bit tough in the Skinny 2. A small jacket can fit in the front pouch, Chase, or otherwise you gotta, again, dedicate spot in the main disc compartment. But even with that amount of space in the main compartment on the Skinny 2, I think you can fit 15 to 23. Doing some homework? Well, that doesn't sound that great, David. Hopefully it can keep you entertained at least like halfway while you're doing that. Sep likes the top setup on the Fossa 2. Gotcha. Commander and the Fossa have been one I'm looking at based on your reviews. Just wasn't sure if there were other options out there for me. Thanks so much. Yeah, you're welcome. There probably are. Chad, I just learned that about Thought Space athletic discs. I've heard that name. I don't know. I kind of assumed they were somebody that was just like stamping discs. I didn't know they had molds or whatever. Let's get some weight in this thing. So I can tell you this. Oh, it's got mirrored sides. This compartment, like cell phone, wallet, keys, next to the beverage compartment, is mirrored on the other side. So that's a huge departure from the Fade Crunch box that I just reviewed a while back, because it had just the beverage compartment on one side, and then on the other side I think there was a slightly larger storage compartment. Sep, so is DGcoolerBag.com a new brand? Old, never heard of them. So Sep, they've done one run before this. They made 500 bags and sold them fast. I forget, I think it was 6 months or maybe 3 months or something. They sold 500 bags. Most of them went out on Amazon, but it's, helps these guys if you just go to their website, if you're, considering buying one. I don't know how big this batch was, but yeah, they're new. It's a brand new setup. Millie Dooms, I got the Animus today. It's pretty cool. MVP makes their discs. Chad, OTB just dropped some of their stuff recently. ThoughtSpace, I'll have to check it out. ThoughtSpace was just a stamp designer, but they're now making their own via MVP. Oh, okay, Sep. That makes sense. 100% on the Magnolia. Braden won one on a raffle and likes it. Their logo art reminded me of MVP art, so pretty cool. Oh, so they might have some multicolor stamps and whatnot. That's awesome. MVP does so good on their stamps. Counterstripe, this looks nearly identical to the Soldier Bag from DD. They had a cooler version also. Great bag. I'll have to check that out. Chad, do AGL have an overstable mid? I love Gateway Warriors, but I'm not sure if Gateway still makes them. So the Madrone is a putter, but it is it is beefy, and it's ripping pretty far for me. I'm getting it out 300 or so, and it doesn't like hook left at the end so much as it just falls out of the sky. So it plays like a chunky mid for me. I think the bag is no longer made hard to get. Oh, the DD bag? I gotcha. David, I really like my grippy QBX, but I just thought it doesn't hold enough disc, so I carry a DD Commander, but I don't like the storage. Oh, yeah. Nico, anyway, you should turn up your mic slightly. I can do that. It might start clipping, Nico. I know that my streams do tend to be a little bit quiet, but in my opinion, when you turn them up, it sounds good. So like the quality is good. It's just through YouTube's like algorithm or whatever, it's quieter. But yeah, I can crank it a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't start clipping. We'll see. I'll watch it. Anything for you, Nico. Whatever you guys ask, I'll try. Nada, how's it going? Have you ever thought about doing a straight up AMA session? Honestly, I kind of treat every stream like that. I mean, you know, I could be much deeper into this bag already and have it loaded with discs and whatnot, but I really enjoy just talking with chat. So I try to answer as many questions as possible. Sep, I think it'll be years until I buy another bag. Honestly, Grip AX was a buy last year, and it'll be a bit till that needs released. Buttery smooth. Thanks, David. Yeah, Sep, we don't talk about the OnlyFans. Nico says that's great. Yeah, I bet you can hear, like when I'm not talking, you can probably hear more noise now. Because I cranked it up, including the footsteps above me. But, you know, those are just the trade-offs I have to make for the area I'm recording in. Chad says, the more I try on bags, the more I realize how important it is to find a bag that fits the shape of your back. Your pound reviews got me thinking about that, and it's all I think of now. Yeah, Chad, it really is important, and it's kind of tough. Like, once you start thinking about it that way, you can't forget it, you know? Once you start having that critical mindset, it's tough. Sep, I would say for me personally, the worst disc golf bag that I've ever carried was it was a bag made by Fossa. I reviewed it. It was a big blue one. What's it called? The Pro something or other. I forget its name. Somebody made a copy of it, actually, or kind of did a side deal with the manufacturer. They're up on eBay for like $40 or something now. Okay, so I'm going to go grab Pro Z. I don't remember then. I can open up and look at my notes. Zany Pro. Fossa Zany Pro. Let me go grab a bunch of beverages and let's see what we can fit in this cooler right now. I'm not any way sponsored or affiliated with LaCroix. But LaCroix, if you're watching, I'd be interested. If Pound is such a great bag, why hasn't some other company copied the pattern? Soft bag, same storage configuration, etc. It's kind of thought as, I'm going to say, as being a cheaper bag when they're made soft. I don't know the full answer to your question, Nada, but there are other bags made like that. Prodigy is a great example. The BP1V2, which I have one right here, and the BP1V3 are both softback bags. I find both of those very comfortable. But neither of them has the fabric quality, stitching quality, durability that a pound bag has. So they're not really fair to compare in many other ways. I've kind of owned a bag in every price level. And man, when you get to that grip level pricing, I can feel a true difference on comfort. 100%. Can't wait for Upper Park to make more Rebels. Yeah, I'm psyched to see what the new version of the Upper Park bags are. If they're just a little bit different colors or if they've really done some new designs. IPAs only. I actually don't have any beers in my fridge right now. I'm contemplating not drinking a beer for this entire month. See if I can't lose a few pounds. I really want to see Doth Rebel review. I've carried that Rebel a little bit right before I switched to the DD Combat Ranger, and I'm either going to be wearing like this one right now, or I'm going to put the Rebel back on and finish that so I can get the review for it out. Late to the party, but what's up? Hey, Alex. How's it going? I haven't made it too far. I just have a putter and a mini in here. I haven't put the straps on it yet or anything. So, we're just about to stack this cooler up. Is there any other bag with a double side storage pocket, small pocket outside, large pockets? I'm not real clear on what you're asking, Nada. Sep, you've got a weight loss challenge going in Slim Fast? Okay, I'll check it out. Grapefruit is pretty good, Nico. Pamplemousse does sound a whole lot fancier, I agree. Orange is my go-to. Orange is my favorite. The pockets like the pound. Oh, so both a small pocket and a big pocket on the outside? No, nothing comes to mind. Okay, let's see what we got. So I brought in 2 cooler packs. This is a 2-pound Yeti. It is like a 6-pack size. I found it to fit just about perfectly in the Commander Cooler Bag cooler. I think it's going to be the same here. I feel like your buds say, man, he has another bag. Same way my buds say, man, why are you trying another mold? Yeah. I know, but Sep, that's the trick. If you started reviewing discs, then you would have an even better excuse to just constantly try new ones. That's sort of what got me into this YouTube game. Grip BX2 honestly feels like the ideal bag for most players. It's a really solid size, rides pretty comfortably, and can usually be found discounted. Brother John. I've actually never owned a BX2. I bought a B series bag just to give to my friend, guy that I was renting a room from at the time, and he started playing some disc golf. I wanted to give him a cool bag, so I found a good deal on a used Grip B. But that's the one bag in the Grip lineup that I've not used, and I get requests for it all the time. I definitely want to check one out. I might be trying to snag one on the Black Friday discount, as Sep is mentioning there. Is it bad if I see people sporting a cooler bag and I immediately think that they've got drinking problems? They're always carrying beers and are already visibly drunk? No, David, that's not bad. I think you're pretty much on track. I mean, when I was testing out the DD Commander cooler bag. I was running sparkling water in it most of the time. So with that 2-pound Yeti ice pack in the bottom, I still have just a little bit of room on top of these 12-ounce cans, and 6 fits in there just about perfect. Alex says, not many discs going into that bag. Looks like it's for those players that drink more than play. The cooler bag does come right out, and then you can run discs all the way across for, I don't know, 22 discs or something like that, I think is what it says in the description. But yeah, I think it says 12 discs with the cooler in there. Well, we're gonna find out. So without the ice pack in there, you definitely can fit a whole lot more cans. It says 9, so that would be putting an extra layer on top. Sep says, I don't think anyone wants the hashtag hot takes from a rec player throwing discs 300 feet, reviewing discs. I don't know, man. There's an entire audience for that. It's better than rec players watching somebody review discs that throws them 500 feet. They're going to get better information from watching somebody throw closer to the same distance they do. Not saying everybody does, but it makes me chuckle a little. David, yeah, for sure. There's certainly, an amount of, yeah, I hear you. Brian, I just loaded up my thermo with vodka. Beer takes up too much weight. Yeah, I hear you. I do the same thing if I'm, hiking into a place to go climbing or something like that. My mic did just clip there because I turned it up. Somebody let me know if it sounds weird, and I'll turn it back down. DG, and you need a Portland Timbers patch for that bag? That would match, wouldn't it? Only takes up too much weight if you don't re-up before the back 9. The best course is hook up. Yes, between the front and back, you can stop back at the parking lot. There's 9. Totally does it. Or you could fit 16s in there. You could fit a 6-pack of 16s. JB, nah, sounds good. Thanks, man. Appreciate the update. You know what? I'm gonna keep a 6er in there. Actually, we gotta get weight in here, so it'll start taking shape. How are you guys? Frosty, what's up? Been watching your bag reviews lately and recently bought the DD Commander. Can't wait to start filling it up. Hey, that's awesome, Frosty. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the love. I love that this bag is advertised as beer drinking bag and they have a picture of it on their website at a course where you're not supposed to drink. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of those laws get bent on occasion. David, I had to cut back on most of my subscriptions and Patreon stuff, so I only kept yours and one other. Oh man, that means a lot. I appreciate it. Every bit of support is awesome, and I know with the current world goings on that there's a lot of people unemployed and or making less money that they used to, so it means even more, any bit of support. But yeah, I agree. You got to keep yourself, you're your main priority, so no sweat if you got to cut that back. Only 10 likes. Come on, boys. There's 42 of us. Oh, there's 43 viewers now, it says. Well, maybe it's counting me as one. That's awesome, everybody. Thanks for stopping in. That's like my second biggest number I think I've ever seen. Oh, it just jumped to 49. Holy cow. Do I just talk about the number and it goes up? Is that good? I'm not used to looking at that. Okay, so straps are the last thing. How do those go on? Not that direction. Oh, look at this clip. It's sprung backwards. My phone just buzzed again. Holy cow, what are you guys doing? I got another Patreon alert. Tyler, thanks so much. if you're in the chat, I assume you are. I appreciate it, guys. That's awesome. I've always liked the little mini pocket on the front of the putter pocket. It's a kind of a classic. It goes with the whole theme. It's just an old school vibe all the way around. Need those quad shocks. Yeah, these ones don't have shocks. They're not stretchy, but they're quads. Counterstripe, that's you. Hey, thanks so much. I appreciate that. What would you like me to put your name in the Patreon scroll bar? You want me to put Tyler in there or something else? I'll message you. I'm not going to remember it, probably if you say it right now. I'll message you through Patreon. I appreciate it. I signed up for Disc Golf Nerds Patreon today, and that's one of the things he messaged me and asked, what name would you like me to put up? And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I should be asking people the same thing, so I'm not putting somebody's name and where they'd rather just have a nickname or something of that sort. You guys ready for me to model this? Okay, I'll just have you put my son's name. Oh, that's sweet. I love it. Yeah, I'll message you on Patreon. Sometimes I wish I held onto my old Innova Deluxe bag with the backpack straps just to break it out now and again. I had one that lasted a real long time, and my buddy's tore, so I gave him mine. You're welcome, DGN. Oh, that's way too low. Cheers, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping in, DGN. The straps are hitting me about the spot that I'd like them to. Lola's on my bed looking at me like so confused. What am I doing? It's just too, these are too long. Have you used the Innova disc carrier? I don't know if they make it anymore. Straps and like twice as long as that bag, tons of storage. I don't know. That might be the one I had. I don't remember. It's the like full like tournament, super wide Innova bag. Well, there's double buckles here. I just like adjusted the first buckle into the second buckle and ran out of room. And this one's doubled back. should be down there. I think I would probably end up cutting this strap to make it shorter. Yeah, see, I bound this buckle right into the other one. It's fraying a little bit, the end of that strap. I just need to take a lighter to it and get that melted. Okay, that's about right. Okay, so the next game we're gonna play is one, to see how many discs fit in here reasonably, which they say 13, so I'm gonna guess 12. I usually think it's a little bit less, but we'll find out. And the other is pretending that they're the only discs I get to use from now going out. I never get to switch them. You know, assuming I never lose one or whatever. I thought of that kind of developed that thought over the last couple days, because that in the bag review I just did was so huge, like 27 discs or something, which is just ridiculous. I thought it'd be cool to try to think of what a super compact bag would be. And it, you know, I happen to have one here. At least when utilizing the cooler, there's not a whole lot of space for other stuff. So, you know, even if I wasn't using that for beverages, like that's just a main storage compartment. I can put a jacket in there. I can put my camera in there. You know, whatever other bigger, bulky stuff, and then just try to limit myself to the sides for discs. So, I didn't want to cheat and spend too much time thinking about what discs I would put in there. So I've not really thought about it a whole lot. I think that one of the easiest ones for me to pick is on the overstable side. That green cooler bag looks pretty narrow. When it's loaded up, you should see how the straps feel. Quads on narrow bags always feel weird to me. I hear you there, brother John. The Fossa is a very skinny bag that has backpack straps, and I think it is remarkably comfortable for that. Granted, it's not a low profile that's just like touching your lower back. So I keep a small bag with less than 10 discs in my car for emergency use. It's a nice exercise in decisions. Yeah, David, you know, a lot of times you can play just awesome rounds with a few discs. I may have missed it. You just posted the Ranger review. What is next? DG Cooler, then what? So that's kind of up in the air, Nada. The Ranger review is going out Tuesday. I had been carrying the Rebel just before the Combat Ranger, so I already have a few rounds on it. I might go right back to that and carry it for a few more and then put that review out, or I might just carry this. The other options are, I still have the Commander, the DD Commander there, or I could go on to MVP. As soon as I go MVP, I would need to order bags, and they've had stock issues, and I was hoping that they'd sponsor a review and send me a bag, but I've kind of lost communication with them, and I'm giving them space. I don't want to hound them for a bag when it looks like they're having trouble even keeping them in stock, so I've just kind of been waiting on that. But I do have an older MVP Voyager. I'm just not, when I carry that one, I want to be, you know, have the new one next to it, I guess is kind of what I'm thinking. So it's all a little bit up in the air. I haven't nailed it down for sure, the order. So I think this is one of the easier decisions for me to make for what disc to put in there. And you might have seen this one. I probably pulled for my main bag review. This is an ESP Force. It could possibly take kind of that Firebird spot also. I know it's a whole lot faster, but when it kind of to a distance control, overstable, or wind shot, this is just such a great disc for it. So I think that one just goes in. I'm excited to see a new video with you reviewing discs. Alex, yeah, I actually had a record time scheduled with someone earlier today, and that fell through, so we didn't get to record, but I'm working on it. There will be stuff soon. I have quite a few Forces. This is kind of the backup to the one that I just showed you. They were made at very similar times. This even has a little bit of that blue color, which I think came from this. I think they literally were color shifted into each other. I mean, who knows how many in between them. But yeah, I haven't thrown this one yet. I'll put the one in the bag that I've already thrown the most. And then I definitely need a straighter distance driver. I got some of my discs all mixed up. I'm not sure where everything is. So I'm going to put in my oldest, like, trusty Destroyer. In the bag, I did have this in there, but I was leaning on Hurricanes a whole lot, and like that's really kind of what I'm moving to right now. But if it was one disc for the rest of my life, this Destroyer belongs in there. And then putter. I'm like almost certainly going to put more than just one putter in there. I am going to pick the Luna. I've been throwing Lunas and Fierces. Honestly, when it comes down to it, I could throw just about any putter. Big Beat AVR, P2s. You know, there's so many good putters out there to choose from. I'm not saying that the Luna is like exceptional or anything. It's just kind of like the current crush or whatever. It's just what I've been throwing. And it's more versatile than a Fierce is. So I may still put, I'm probably going to have multiple putters in here. I'm going to go heavy on putters and mid-ranges, I'm pretty sure. But we'll say it's a Luna, because there's nothing at all wrong with Lunas. Sep says steadies over Lunas. Yeah, I got some... I got a couple steadies actually. I just haven't really. I threw them a couple times when I was up at the Solitude in the snow, but yeah, I haven't. It seems like it would be an awesome putter. This is the other one I got, the other steady. This has the bead on it. Nada, I don't know. I assume there is someone different that I'd need to talk to at Lat64. What I intend to do is reach out to my DD contact after I have had the review out and see what he thinks. And yeah, if they want to continue and send me another bag, or if they have a contact for Lat64, because I would like to try the E4. Another pretty easy pick for me is the Buzz. I, again, have a whole bunch of buzzes I could pick from here. I've got some really cool TI buzzes I like. This is the one that I've currently been throwing the most, this Tour series. I do think I like buzzes on just like the little bit more overstable end of the spectrum. And this has just been working great for that. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna tentatively put in a tactic. This has just really been a workhorse for me. Like, I know it's slower speed. It's working as, you know, like they call it a putter even, I think, technically. But to be honest with you, I throw this thing like it's a overstable mid-range. And it covers so much area being a little bit slower. I can push it out as, you know, as far as a number of overstable mid-ranges, but it also works great up closer. It's a disc that I've very heavily been relying on. Alex, yeah, drone, for sure. I've got a couple Presnell drones here. In particular, this one I've been working with quite a bit, and yeah, they do different things for sure than a tactic. I don't think it's a unique enough disc to make my super limited bag here. I don't know why I just cannot click with buzzes. I don't know either, Sep. We'll have to throw together sometime and see if we can figure it out. Hey Doth, if you had to choose a brand of disc to only throw in the future, what would it be? Right now I would pick, oh, I don't know. I'm just going to say Discraft. But that's just because I've been trying a bunch of Discraft, and they have, just as I showed, they're doing like beautiful work with their plastic, their colors, the swirls. So I've got two mids in there. I am going to put in, a Plastic Addicts Habit. This is just like, I don't know, partly like if I'm not going to have that many discs in here to throw, I'm going to throw stuff I enjoy, and I love throwing floaty, mids, and putters, and even understable drivers for that matter. And that habit is just really doing some special stuff. I agree, Discraft is on fire these days with the swirls. Yeah, they're killing it. The Technotron would be MVP. MVP is a great choice. They're doing some really cool stuff right now. I really like their plastic. And I'm starting to round the corner. I was sour on MVP there for a while, but I just can't deny how good of stamps they have coming out. And their plastic seems really consistent. Why the Buzz versus Mako's versus KC and DX Rocks? Hand feel over the KC and DX. I have thrown lots of Rocks, lots of DX, lots of KC Pros. I've got some super old KC Pros. I sold a 10-time KC Pro Rock not that long, or maybe actually I think it was a 9-time. They just don't feel as good in my hand. I haven't thrown in Mako. I've thrown Mako 3, and I really like Mako 3. Buzz is a whole lot more beefy, especially the Tour Series Buzz that I've got. I wonder how much my bag would change going up to your elevation. Yes, Sep, about if I was going down to sea level, about half the discs in my bag would change. It's a big difference. It takes a while to get used to. I also think Gateway is overlooked. Yeah, Technotron, Gateway makes AGL, and I've been testing, trying out a bunch of AGL stuff right now. So I am missing fairways, and this is kind of what Sep just said. Like, honestly, 7 to 9 speed, I throw very little. I rely on mids for the most part instead of fairway drivers. I will go from a Buzz straight to a Hurricane. and I don't know, it's partly just the courses I'm at, but a big part of it is the elevation. Like when I'm at sea level, I love T-birds. I throw the heck out of T-birds. And then when I'm up at 4,000, 5,000 feet like I am now, I don't even bag them. I'll put in an FD, at least for now. I might pull that back out as I run out of space. And if I'm going to throw an FD, I might as well pick a really sweet one. I do like these, the Perkins, the Night Strikes. I've got quite a few. I have like one that I did a partial wipe on the stamp. I think it looks super clean. I'll actually put that one in. And then I gotta go down to another box here because I want a T-bird or a Thunderbird. I'm not sure which. T-birds are so 2016 stalker, or what's in the yeah, as soon as Haley won, I put a stalker back in my bag. I really do like stalkers. And again, it's with, you know, Discraft just killing it with the swirls. This is the stalker that I've been throwing. And then here's the backup I've got for it. Pretty cool. I really like stalkers. Okay, Jew, you good? You deleted your own message? Or is that some kind of auto moderation? Maybe I need to I should actually have my own chat open, so if I need to, I can hop in. Yeah, you can remove your own message. Got it. So, I mean, I do have, I see you guys talking eagles too. So I'm going to put this in here. This is a champion T-bird, which you can see how much I've beat it up. When I was at sea level, this was just a workhorse. I relied on T-birds really heavily, and like I said, I literally don't bag them up at this elevation because they're kind of like I can just do it with a buzz. Like I can do it with a buzz, or I can do it with a Firebird, for example. I just really have trouble figuring out where that disc belongs, but we'll put it in a spot for now. That's 8 discs so far in there. Definitely have room for more. Tried to edit. I'm good. Okay, right on, KJ. No worries. So you know what I think I'm gonna put in here? Yeah, I'm thinking an understable mid. This Fia, actually, I might put in. Like, that's foolish. I don't even... I'm going to buy one off a friend. I have borrowed a couple, but I literally have thrown it a couple times, and I think it might go in this bag. Like, that disc is... If you haven't heard of it yet, the Sphia from Castaplast is going to be a disc you hear about probably soon. Alex, Comet. Yeah, quite possibly, or a Meteor. I can get close to those lines with this Habit. It's just the Habit can't handle the same winds, and it is a little bit shorter. I will put in a comment. It's SVEA is how it's spelled, Frosty, and I'm not real clear on the pronunciation, so I'm saying Svea, 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 Svea. Oh, Keiju, you were asking about the two different eagle molds. The L's are harder to find. Yeah, they sure are. I've heard that the Eagle L mold is maybe used by Millennium or something under a different name. There's something close to that, at least that's correct. Okay, I did put a comment in. I definitely could go with one more. Are you planning on listing your final 12 discs in the comments when you're done? Yeah, I can do that. Have you hooked the Tempest? No. I've got a couple torrents. I just got a second torrent that I've been trying a little bit. I think I'm gonna put in a Firebird. I think there's gonna be room for that. And then yeah, that's tough. I have one putter in there, which I don't like, and I don't have room for a second one. I don't know, is this thing stretchy enough? Infinite Exodus uses the L mold. Torrents are on the overstable side for me, Sep. Definitely, they would be just fine fighting the wind. They are notably faster than a Hurricane out of my hand, and if I throw them flat, they will lock flat and hold that for a good ways, and then I have huge fade in a skip. Have putting and driving putter. Yeah, I would use the Habit over here as a driving putter, at least as an approach or a touchy shot one. If I really wanted to throw a putter, then I would be pulling out a Roach in premium plastic, or a Luna, or even a Fierce and Crystal are pretty good. I think with the Habit in here, I tend to carry the Fierces less, because the Fierces are a little bit on the understable side, and the Roach and the Luna are a little bit beefier. But The reality is, a lot of what I can do with this, I can do by throwing a comet and just slowing the comet down a little bit. Are you planning on reviewing any more Innova bags? Innova makes one other backpack bag. I sent them an email asking if they would send me a bag to review, and they declined, which is fine, but they are literally the only company that is declined. So it's kind of back of the bus, I guess. Why would I spend my money on a bag to review if others will send them to me? Yes, I most certainly will review more Innova discs, Jeff. A huge gust of wind. Oh man, putted with a rock for the rest of the round. Yeah, I do like carrying multiple putting putters. Innova seems to be the most difficult brand to get these types of things from. Yeah, I think that's partly because they just don't need people to advertise for them. They're already a huge brand. So it's really tight to get a second putter in that elastic. That might stretch over time. But if I just go between like the main divider and the front, then the bag itself has room to stretch. So I can easily fit another putter in there. That's kind of funky, but I'll try it. I've not thrown a Legacy Hunter. Tempest is a cheaper Hades. Yeah, I've heard you guys talk about that. I'll have to get my hands on one. I keep confusing the name of it with the Torrent. Innova inconsistencies. Yeah, there's plenty of that. So how much? I actually have quite a bit of room still over here. Oh yeah, I offset it. So that's actually backwards. I would change this. I do tend to have my mids on this side, in the opening, and then my drivers on the left. But the way that I put these Velcro pieces in, I made this side smaller than that. And I would definitely have my drivers in the smaller side, and then add more mid ranges and putters, I think. So let's actually do. We'll put a true throwing putter in there. And I think that the only thing I'm missing is a driver that would be between the Force and this Super Straight Destroyer. Really, I could actually pull that Super Straight Destroyer out and then put two different drivers in. One that would be a little bit more understable than that Destroyer, which would be a 2020 Tour Series Hurricane or Hades, and then put something in that's one step above stability of that Destroyer and just kind of do with that. Like, it honestly is the perfect middle range, but I would cover so many more shots if I carried one a little bit more understable and one more overstable. Like two Hades, really. I personally like Thrashers more than Hades, says Sep. Yeah, disc golf, DGN, Disc Golf Nerd is the same. I don't know the answer to that, Frosty. I've tried way more Hades than Thrashers. Is Innova inconsistency unique, or do other disc manufacturers have the same issues? Other disc manufacturers have similar issues, for sure. And, some manufacturers have other issues, like Prodigy is one I can pick on just with flashing. I would rather have inconsistent shapes of the disc and flight variations rather than have to deal with sharp flashing. Pipeline flies in that middle spot for me. I haven't tried a pipeline. So if I were to take that Destroyer out and put two different ones in, then I need to pull a disc. And I definitely am looking at the the FD or the T-bird to pull, but that's kind of foolish. It's an elevation thing. Like I know I don't pull. I know I won't throw the T-bird up here. Elite 30 Paul Macbeth destroyers also had huge variations. It kind of gets forgotten when it is a older mold, when there's not a whole lot of them out for sale currently. People tend to forget. It's listed as an 8402, but it's not that at all. It's more like an 84-21. The pipeline. Yeah, huh. That's DGA, isn't it? So that's 2 DGA discs I need to get and try. The Pipeline and the Tempest. So many discs, so little time. Have you thrown any Streamline traces? My go-to distance driver at the moment. I think I have a trace here. Yeah, I traded somebody or bought this used. I'm not sure. This is a 169 gram trace. I think I got this from the Disc Golf Podcast Slack group. I can't remember. I honestly do not think I've thrown it. I've got more discs than I can throw. David and Sepp, new disc golf buddies. I got one and it is solid in my bag next to my Hurricanes. More stable and flies a little further. Then which Hurricanes, David? Dang, making friends thanks to Doth. Hey, mission accomplished. That's great. Disc Golf Friend Finder in Doth's chat. Yeah, David, if you're not listening to the Disc Golf Podcast, or you don't even have to listen to the podcast, but if you look them up, there's a Slack group. That's where I met Sepp and some of these other guys in here. Big Red also. It's a really good community. And Robin and Joe from the podcast seem like super cool guys. I enjoy listening to them. Trace is just very similar to the Hurricanes, but if I want to throw less stable than Hurricane finishes, I throw the Trace. Oh, I thought this was more stable than the Hurricane. More stable and flies a little further. So you're saying this is seems to be more high-speed stable than your Hurricanes, but also has a straighter finish. So that's how it gets its extra distance. Yeah, that's sounding pretty sexy. That's what I really like about this this super old middle ground destroyer in here, is it really has great stability at high speed. It'll lock in. It doesn't want to turn very much, but then also its low speed fade is just somehow missing. It just goes straight. Huh, okay, I'll have to pull this. I'll set this trace out here in these 50 discs, so it's a little more likely for me to remember to take it out and throw it. No, I've not tried Heimberg destroyers from this year, F11. I don't have one. Where is the Disc Golf Podcast? You can just Google it. That's literally their name, the Disc Golf Podcast. I'll drop you a link. They're on pretty much any podcast. Like I listen to them on Spotify, but I think they're on. It's throwstuffatstuff.com. That's an easy way to remember. There's a link. I'm going to leave it at that for now. So we've got Luna, Fierce, Habit, Comet, Buzz, Tactic, Roach, FD, T-Bird, Firebird, Destroyer, Force. That's 12. I think that's a pretty solid bag. I would like to fill out that high-speed section a little bit more. That's often what I'm carrying, testing a lot of times, is in that high-speed and Destroyer spot. Poika, hey, how's it going? What's up? Welcome to the stream. Jeff, I'm in Utah, if you were asking me. I think for the long term though, I wouldn't mind missing more stuff in the 12 speed. It's this lower end range with these putters and the mids that I like truly enjoy throwing. And especially as I get older, I'll probably be doing that even more and more and skipping out on the super high speed stuff. Tommy G's in Ohio. Sep, Indiana. Disc golf and beer go hand in hand. Oftentimes they do. Elite 30, I prefer star for Mako 3s. David's in Washington State. A second Ohioan. Best disc golf ever. Is the word course supposed to be in there? Best disc golf course ever? Wisconsin, Washington State, Ohio. Tour Series Squall. Sep, was that your answer to best disc ever? O to the H. I have Brandon's got a Squall. I borrowed it from him and threw it a few times. It seemed pretty nice. It was in Pro Line, I believe. I haven't tried a Tour Series. Oh no, I'm just bad at English. You're good, Poika. No problem. I'm not always the best at reading. Michigan, Houston, Texas, Washington. Oh, best disc. Oh, I think Sep did read you right. He knew what you were saying. He said Tour Series Squall. Best disc, if I could only pick one, it'd probably be a putter. Like if I could really just throw one disc, I think it'd be a putter. Picking which putter would be really difficult though. I'm not sure which putter I'd pick. I do kind of have a crush on this Plastic Addicts Habit right now, but that's a thrower. You know, I'd play catch with this thing. I could do so many different lines with it. It's really a fun one to throw. It's not one that I'd ever want to putt with, though. I guess I could make it happen if I just had to really deal with one disc. To me, how people describe a buzz is what the Squall does. I could see that. Lola. Let's not go crazy on that. I just picked up about 8 DGA discs, loving the ones I got a chance to throw. Awesome. Yeah, DGA's got some fun stuff. I can barely type as you struggle to read my messages, so I know what people mean when they goof. Oh. That lineup covers most of the ace runs you'd have out on the course. I think you need a high-speed overstable utility. Something like a PD2. You talking to me, Brandon? I got a Force in here. That covers the PD2 spot. Sep says, if I'm doing a one-disc round, I'm taking a breaker. Yeah, I'm not sold on the Pro Line Breaker I tried. I think I'd try the more baseline one, and I might like it. Whatever it's called. Is there consistently good disc golf courses outside of the Midwest? Yeah, there's a number of places that are hot spots. Austin, Texas is one. Jumps to mind. There's some great golf in California. If you had to guess what disc manufacturer do you think is the largest, where would you guess some of the other companies would rank in terms of disc sales? I think is the largest. So like sells the most, I'd say Innova. Discraft second. Can you group like, you know, when I say Innova, does Discmania get grouped into them as well because it's one manufacturer? And then the next question would be like with Trilogy, do they count as one or are they all different? Kind of hard to structure that question. There's a bunch of what ifs. DGA is holding on to the Hypercane release way too long. They're retooling the Hypercane a bit. I've not played any disc golf courses in Maryland, Jeff. How far do you throw? Do you know in meters? Meters is 3.3, right? I can throw. I can get out to like 136 with some regularity. I've heard Minnesota and Texas are the largest two spots for good disc golf. Yeah, UDisc is a great way to look and see what course density is. Yeah, with Discmania, Lat 64 makes the Evolution series. Yeah, exactly. That kind of breaks things up. I would say Innova alone beats Trilogy. I agree. Most amazing disc I threw this year was the Castaplas Lot. It's truly amazing. Tommy G, have you tried the Svea? The Svea is really, really cool. I think they want the Hypercane to be more like a 12403, a faster bonsai. I don't know anything about the Hypercane. Yeah, Caleb, I think there's some pipeline throwers in here. I've not thrown one, though. I can throw 60 meters. Hey, it's about how much fun you have, you know, not how far they go. You keep at it, they'll keep going. Further and further. Okay, 70. Oh, that's a big difference. I've not thrown a fused. K Oliver. So I can't really say between those two, but yeah, I think they're kind of close. Poika, I'm really bad. Are you really bad at having fun? Mississippi here, highly underrated for disc golf. Every state park has a course, plus some great and variable public and private courses. Can be a touch hot in summer, though. I'd go Comet if only one disc. Comet's a great choice. I don't know about the Tsunami, S-Bear. Not sure about that. I do have fun. Well, you're doing it right then, Poika. That score is secondary. Fun is primary. You put a Berg in your bag, JB? Found one in the shop, put it in your hand, it felt so good. That's one I've not tried. If you had to choose one pro to score the lowest on 18 holes with a putter, who would it be? It might depend a little bit on the course, but for some reason, the two that come to mind are... I want to say Michael Johansson on Kevin Jones. I know there's lots of great putter throwers out there, but for some reason, those are the two that come to mind for seeming to be very likely to just slay a course with putters. Nada, yeah, Conrad, that's a really good call. That dude can throw some putters as well. Can I give Kevin Jones his jokery? Yeah. Seppo Paiu, that's another great choice. Seppo's so smooth. All right, guys, I'm winding down. If you got any other questions, now's the time to fire them off. I definitely intend to stream again this week. I'll open a box of AGL. Sep, I don't know what to say. I'll message you in Slack, okay, Sep? Elite 30, I've not thrown any of the Saki Bot destroyers. I've looked at a few in person, but I haven't really dug into them. What do you eat for breakfast? What do you eat for breakfast? I actually skip breakfast a lot. I eat coffee. Coffee is my breakfast. I did have a bowl of cereal today, granola though. Yesterday I had pizza for breakfast, some leftover pizza. Everyone join the Ace Hunters. Thanks, Sep. Yeah, I would like to do some special, some fun stuff with the Ace Hunters. I can't promise timing on anything, but I'll let you guys know when I have some things figured out. Does bananas go on pizza? I've never put bananas on pizza. Have you thrown the AVR X3? There's a few versions of AVRs there. I'm pretty sure I threw them all. It's just like a super flat top and a flat top overstable one. I tried it a bit. What's the best zone equivalent for Innova? I kind of like rats. It's not like a direct. So like the zone is somewhere between a rat and a pig on the Innova side. And I know that Innova has other options. I haven't thrown them all. But the rat and the pig I both put a chunk of effort into. For further flying, the rat does great. For more consistent ground play and sticking, the pig is superior. And the zone's somewhere like right in between those two. Oh, you meant pineapple instead of banana? That makes more sense. Pineapple is more common on bananas. Or, yeah, pineapples on bananas. You guys know what I mean. I don't mind pineapple on pizza. I eat that on occasion. It's definitely not my first choice, but I'm not against the Hawaiian style. Did you see any of the USDGC? I've been watching like probably the least amount of tournament coverage recently. Um, I've been quite more focused on doing this stuff, for YouTube and researching a bunch of new sound equipment and camera equipment, and that's eaten into a bunch of my gaming and, vegetating time in front of the screen. So I've really not been watching a whole lot of disc golf. Nyan likes the rats, and I think rats feel great in the hand. I really like that super low profile. I'm very conflicted about USDGC, a very old school style, simple park course. They make challenge with artificial OB. Oh, as far as the style of the course, I am not a big fan of all the artificial OB. I don't like it. Watching somebody get screwed over because of bad luck. Yeah, I don't know. And I feel like OB just brings that feeling of bad luck in more and more. Like, yeah, technically you blame it on what disc they threw or, how it hit the ground and started to roll to go OB. It's just so much cooler when all the difficulty is natural. And if you don't have natural difficulty, well, just make the course more scoreable. I don't really see the problem there. To force scoring separation by like painful and weird and tight OB is not a pleasure to watch or to compete in. I don't think that Conrad being so reliant on the backhand really holds him back. He's so good with the backhand. I think what really comes down to it, that top level, is putting. And I'm not saying that Conrad's a bad putter. I think he's a great putter, obviously, but still, even at the top level, it just comes down to putting like insanely well. Didn't Innova make another disc named after an amphibian that's more zony, not the Gator 3? They did like a Cayman recently. I think that one's another beefy kind of approach disc. I don't know. It's hard to keep up with all the overlapping stuff that Innova keeps cranking out. I hope Vino and Albert Tom play in the States next year. Also Henna, Evelina, and Chris Tatar, I'm guessing. Yeah, Brandon, I agree. I really like watching all those guys come in. I don't have a great forehand. I'm not sure I'm the right one to ask for tips, Poika. Yeah, I think USDGC could be moved to another course set. Cayman is like a beadless gator. So a mortar then? I think Big Germ is throwing AVRs for his forehands approach. Oh yeah, Elite 30, AVR X3. He was using mortars, but besides pineapple pizza, what's your second choice? I like if I was just to pick my favorite toppings on a pizza, I would probably do pepperoni, sausage, onions, black olives, and jalapenos. That's a pretty solid pizza for me. What makes glow so sought after? Is it the break-in time? Is it the feel for in between Star and Champ? Okay, so specifically with Innova, talking about their glow plastic. I went long enough, my camera battery died. Lucky for you guys, I had to spare pretty close. Elite 30, part of the reason that glow is so sought after for Innova is the color glow, and a lot of it is the little bit more tacky, flexible feel that most Champ and Star doesn't have. Dang dot, that made my mouth water. Oh, that sounds delicious. Okay, you guys like the... What? I don't understand, Brandon. Poika, I kind of... Oh, talking about forehand tips. So, what Brandon's talking about, he said, get the disc as far into the thumb pocket and grip it firmer. This is what he means by thumb pocket. Get the disc deep inside there when you're gripping forehand with whatever grip style you like. Seems like most inventory at disc retailers is pitifully low. Tommy G, yeah, they're struggling to keep up with the crazy amount of people buying discs right now. Kristen would have made Paige work harder for her wins if she was here this year. Yeah, quite possibly. Elite 30, that's a little hard for me to say. Like, you know, the most color glow that I throw for Innova is with Firebirds, the Sexton Firebirds, and they just tend to be more understable than other Firebirds anyways. As far as break-in time, I'm just not sure. It probably changes from one mold, you know, and like a T-Bird color glow might be more overstable than Star T-Bird. Question for the chat and Doth. Working to build a course, opinions on best T-pads, cement, rubber, turf, opinions on baskets, Disc Catcher Pro, Mach 3, 4, 5, etc. DD Vets. I really like DGA baskets. I really like concrete. What am I watching? Also, hi. Hey, Luke. Yeah, stream's kind of winding down right now, so we're just chatting. Earlier, I unboxed this bag and set it up, picked some discs out and put in there. Thanks for the assistance, Doth. Exactly. Yeah, you got it, Brandon. I knew what you were saying. Poika, I've been playing for a little over 30 years since I first went out on a disc golf course and threw a disc. Pizza discussion should be Patreon only content. Would definitely increase the subscription count. Oh, that's a good call, Nada. Maybe you need to be an advisor. You need to be an ace hunter advisor. Honestly, I don't really like veterans, and I don't know why. Nyan, I have a Patriot. That's like my personal basket that I putt on. And I think it's great for that. But out on a course, there are other baskets I like better. That's for sure. Crystal, Lola's doing pretty good. She finally took her out this week, and one day played pretty hard, and it's messed up her foot a little bit again, so we're kind of back and forth. Just, it's hard. She's got so much energy still. It's hard to keep her down for very long. She just needs exercise, but she's healthy. I think she's going to be fine. Elite 30, what would your $80 and under disc golf bag recommendation be? I don't know how many bags I've tried under $80. I think the Fade Crunch box is under 80, but I really don't have a whole lot to pick from that I've actually tested. Bye, I'm going to sleep. It's 5 a.m. Have a good time. Thanks, Poika. Get some sleep. How's the DGA tryouts going? What disc are you liking? Nasser, the Hurricane for sure. I had a surprising amount of fun playing with blowflies when I threw them a little bit. Hey, Brendan, how's it going? I kind of set a bunch of the DGA aside because a lot of AGL came in. So I'm kind of back and forth between those two. There's definitely some more DGA that I want to give a shot. I just got some steady ed, so I'm psyched to try the putters. I think the mid-range lineup is really solid on DGA, but I can only try so many discs at once, you know? You're welcome, Nico. Glad we can help. Yeah, high energy pups are hard. I don't want to just drug her up, you know, so. She's getting older, though. She's starting to calm down. Nasser, I have 2 Magnolias coming in tomorrow. I've got another AGL box coming in tomorrow. I'll do another stream to open it. Not sure I'll do the stream tomorrow. I might wait till later in the week to open that box, but I will stream when I do it. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that question, Brendan. I have a favorite destroyer that is a pre-flight number. It's pinned star D, and that's about all I can tell you about it. It's got I did a partial stamp wipe on it, so that's why the stamp looks a little bit funky there. It's because it's not all there. But like as far as, you know, time when it was made, that's pretty hard for me to say. I have an ace on it that was June 4th, 2008. So it's older than that. Cloudbreaker DD3 versus Destroyer. Cloudbreakers have more glide. I find that, and just in general, Cloudbreaker, DD3, whatever you want to say, they tend to lift for me instead of turn. So I have like some issue controlling nose angle on DD3s, which I don't with Destroyers. But they go, the Cloudbreakers and DD3s go super far. Best LaCroix flavor for me is orange. How do you do a stamp wipe? For like that one that I did, I used paper towel and acetone, and I fold paper towel so it has like a relatively sharp corner, a clean corner, and it's maybe 4 layers thick, something like that. And I dip that corner in acetone, and then I'll set it aside and have another one ready and dip it in acetone as well. And then I take that and wipe, you know, carefully the section of stamp that I want to get rid of. And a lot of times what you'll find is, like in this case, this is a blue or purple foil or stamp on here. I'll wipe that away, and then there'll be silver underneath. And so you'll flip it over and wipe again to try to get the second layer off. But you got to be careful as you're doing that, and depending on how much acetone you have on the paper towel, it can smudge. And if you let that smudge dry, it can actually stain a different part. And your paper towel that you wiped with is, then if you flipped it twice, you have different color on both sides of it. And if you try to wipe your smear off, you might just smear more. That's why I got too wet. And I take the second one quickly, before it has a chance to dry, and rub the rest of it off. It's a dangerous game. You can mess up a really pretty disc. So you got to be careful. How's Lefty coming along? Missed the beginning. If you already answered. No, I didn't talk about Lefty at all, Crystal. That last video that I did, I hurt myself. Like my shoulder is still sore. Not, I didn't pull a muscle or, anything bad, but I'm sore from it. Not sure exactly why. So, and my, I'm feeling pretty good right hand, backhand. So I've been throwing right-handed again. I would like to hit 300 feet left hand, so I want to stick with it. Grade E, Key Lime Gang. Magic Eraser with acetone are really good also. I've used Magic Eraser, but not on discs. Destroyer plastic types, how would you rank them from understable to overstable? I'm not an expert with trying them in the different plastics, but I'm going to leave DX out of it because, I don't know, I'm just going to. I'd say Pro, and then G Star, and then Star, and then Champion, being the most overstable. I saw something today talking about technique, Crystal, that really unlocked something in my brain, and I'm pretty excited to go work on my form right-handed again. I tried to throw lefty a few times, but it confuses me so much. 9, yeah, it's weird. Glad the right hand is feeling better. Yeah, my wrist is still messed up. I'm super tentative on throwing any forehands, but it's allowed me to throw some strong rips. Ongo coming in with the $5. Hey, I appreciate that. Thanks. Appreciate the tip very much. How do you like the Nova? It's my favorite disc. The Nova does some really special stuff. Sorry, Crystal. Ongo, the Nova has, like, the weirdest thing about it is the feel in the hand, and I like to power grip even, a lot of my putters and whatnot, if I'm throwing them off the tee pad or for even approach shots, if they're very long, I will power grip. And I had a little bit of issues getting the Nova out cleanly, and ended up doing some work with like full size like ultimate discs and whatnot, and being able to rip those at higher power helps getting a disc like the Nova out cleanly. The flight of the Nova is awesome. I love how it sticks to the ground. Those are some really unique characteristics of it. It is just a bit clunky feeling, and that's what really prevented me from continuing to bag it. Like right now I throw a Habit, which does a lot of similar things in the air, but I find it so much easier to get the Habit out of my hand clean, and it does it much more consistently. What's the $5 thing? How's it work? So I think that I can actually look. Yeah, at the bottom of the chat, there's a little box with a money symbol in it, and you can click on that, and I'm pretty sure it'll kind of walk you through it. But it's support. YouTube, I think, takes a percentage of that, and then the rest comes to me. It's just a way to, instantly support the streamer you're looking at and have your message highlighted and even get pinned to the top of the chat for a while, I believe. Crystal, sorry, the explanation is kind of long. I can tell you that the thing I unlocked was in one of Disc Golf Nerd's videos. It was a video where he had... Actually, I'll just pull it up. I can't remember the name. It's 5 tips for throwing backhand with... I can't think of his name right now. The lat player has a super slow walk up. Oh, where'd it go? I'm almost there. Tristan Tanner. Top 5 tips for backhand featuring Tristan Tanner. This will be easier than me doing a long explanation because there's already some other questions in the chat. Oh no, I just lost my own video. There's a link to the video I'm talking about. One of the tips that Tristan Tanner gives is related to the reach back. And when reaching back, you don't like lean backwards and reach back, but you keep a very central balanced point and you twist backwards instead of leaning and reaching. And one of the things that's always perplexed me, and I haven't figured out how to get around it, is that when I start pulling through, I tend to lean like this, and my whole upper body gets leaned forward. And I think that's hurting me. But a lot of the problems that happen later in the throw are started from earlier in the throw. And that's something I've always tried to work on. Like if you're working on release point, you should be working on reach back point, you know, whether you're off one way or the other. And I've never, like somehow that just clicked when I watched Tristan talk about a vertical line and twisting for the reach back instead of like leaning into the reach back. And I think that's exactly what my issue is. So I'm excited to go work on that. Habit to me is the Nova Perfected. Yeah, Sepp is the one that got me on the habits. That one is his, actually. What are your grips? Can you explain and show us? This is my standard power grip. I will modify that for different speeds and different discs. This is the next layer of modification. If I want to take a little speed off, I drop my middle finger. I'll do that sometimes with putters because that middle finger being out further helps support the disc up. Sometimes putters I feel like just kind of want to do that in my hand, so sticking the middle finger out can help support them. I will also stick 2 fingers out on occasion, and then that's about it. Even like my fan grip is kind of like that. My lightest grip, I still have my pinky and then for forehand I prefer this. Well, my disc golf is done for the next few months at least. I'm having surgery to repair my peroneal tendon in my right ankle on Wednesday. I'm sorry to hear that, David. Hopefully that's, worth it. It'll work out for you in the long run. Unfortunately, sometimes those longer rests are needed, and it can be a tough thing to do. Ongo is saying the Nova feels amazing to me. I got XXL glove size hands though. Very nice. Yeah, there's no denying how well the Nova flies. And if somebody argues with you about that and says the Nova doesn't fly well, it's probably because their technique isn't that great. But it is a funky shaped disc, so it's all about hand feel, You're killing me, Doth? I don't know what you mean, Crystal. Littlest Things. Hey, how's it going, Littlest? How do you make a forehand throw go left? By throwing a more understable disc. If you're talking about right hand. If you're a right-handed player throwing forehand and you want it to go left, the common mistake that people have on forehand is, when they throw and they roll their wrist out like that, and that pulls the disc over this direction, and it does go left because of that. That's usually the issue that people are having. Oh, Crystal, am I just that far behind in chat? I see my own link down there. Sorry. You said that before I posted the link. What do you think takes a bigger percentage of a $5 contribution, YouTube or Patreon? Patreon takes, it's between 3 and 5%. I don't know what YouTube takes for these, for the chat things. To be honest, I'm not sure. Tristan Tanner, cool. Okay, yeah, sorry, I was just way behind on chat. Hips are key in that motion, for sure, James. My dad time will give me lots of time to watch DOS streams with your new bestie, Sep. Very good, guys. Yeah, Twitch is not very, like YouTube is, I think, a whole lot more friendly than Twitch. And Patreon's really not bad. They just make it so easy. It took me no time at all to just set that Patreon up. Doth, if you could design a disc from scratch, what do you think you would try to make? What kind of plastic driver, fairway, mid, putter? I don't think there's really like gaps, I wouldn't try to make a disc that doesn't exist or something like that. It would probably be a putter or mid-range. With a tacky, somewhat flexible, premium plastic. With Discraft, I would try to get him to use so it would be like a flexible ESP. Yeah, maybe like so basically a Comet or a Meteor style disc, but with a flexible premium plastic, either ESP or Z. Elite 30, I've not thrown a Sidewinder in forever. Hey James, how's it going? I lost a new Glow Caxi months ago, and an old lady found it and cleaned it up for me, got it back today. Stoked. That's so cool. And that's awesome when somebody returns a disc. If I could throw one disc, it would be a Judge. The Z-Flex ESP plastics are weird. Weird in a good way or a bad way, Crystal? Is the Discmania FD the best flip-up disc? If not, what's your recommendation? The FD is a great flip-up disc. It's one of the best for sure. If you're looking in that speed range, it's hard to beat. Opinions on the Buzz OS if you've ever thrown it. I've thrown a number of Buzz OSs. I have seen ones with high dome and with a flat top. I definitely like the feel. The flat top Buzz OS is a whole lot more. I don't find them that useful. If I really need a skip out of something, I'm usually going with the higher speed driver with a wide rim. Even on a utility shot, if I need a skip, I'm throwing a driver. And once I learned better control with my forehand for like approach angles and whatnot, I didn't need to rely on stuff as overstable as a Buzz OS anymore. So it just never like really is a spot that got cemented in my bag. The Madrone's flight numbers threw me off when I first threw them. What do you think about its flight, and how would you change its flight numbers? I had a realization that the Madrone actually does very similar things to my Tactic. And once I thought of it that way, it was much easier for me to control. As far as the numbers on it, I think that, so it's 3 speed, 3 glide, 0 turn, 1 fade. I was thinking adding another fade to it, but Brandon said probably take away a glide, and that does sound pretty close. 3201, or maybe 3202. That's how I think I would change the numbers based on the one that I have. I've got more coming tomorrow, so I'll be able to throw some others and see how they go. Leopard is, yeah, Littlest is right. Leopard is also another great flip-up disc. Leopard 3 is a little closer to the FD. Elite 30, I've not thrown a Buzz SS. I have one, but I haven't thrown it. I can't really comment on that without having thrown it. Hey Ian, how's it going? Can't get enough spin on my putts. Have to roll my wrist hard to the right to prevent significant hyzer. Any tips for spin putting? That's probably a timing thing, Ian, and it's kind of hard to describe. But there's somewhere along the, somewhere along the plane where you do need to engage the wrist, and it's about like figuring out the right spot to like really punch it and pick up velocity. And it sounds like maybe you're trying to do that right at the end. You might think of trying to gain velocity a whole lot earlier in the throw and then relax things a little bit at the end. You might be surprised how much spin you do get on it without thinking about whipping hard at the end, but instead accelerating earlier in the arm movement. Yeah, I thought the mold had very little glide and maybe add fade. Yeah, Nasser, for sure. 0.5. Yeah. It's a tricky game when you're talking about dropping glide or adding fade. They're very similar, have similar results, you know? Yeah, yes, Sep. I will bust out some bananas. Ongo with another $5. Thanks so much, man. Dig out a few of your prize / most sought after discs if it's not too much trouble. Nico seconds that. You can slow down your putting stroke down to a practice session to tweak that. Ongo, you got it. I will. I'm going to grab a couple. I'm going to run to the other room for just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, let me dig in here and pull a few discs. I'm gonna grab some discs for you, Ongo. Let's see. You ready for story time? Have you ever tried Steve Brinster's Swirly Star Destroyers? Or Swirly Destroyers? I've not. I've tried Brinster Shimmer Destroyers, and they were pretty beefy. That was like the most recent run that they did of Brinsters. Ian with another $5. Thanks, Ian. $4.99. Thanks for the putting advice. You were spot on that I've been trying to spin at the last second. Cheers. Hey, I hope that works for you. That was just kind of random. It was the first thing that came to mind. James, #1 dream course? I don't know. I've not really thought of that. Ranked them like that. Honestly, some of the courses that I've played in the past and just haven't gone to in a really long time from different states are ones that I'd like to get back to. I have some really fond memories of some courses in Northern California, which is a perfect segue to this first disc that I've pulled out for Ongo's donation here. I spent about a year living in Sacramento, and that is 2008, 2009, and that I was in a tough spot in my life at that time, and it was nice to just get out and be able to jump right on the course and meet people immediately. Feel like I was part of a community out there, and I made a good friend, Joel, and right before I left, I bought a couple destroyers that matched each other, and gave him one, and then kept this one for myself. And you can see I've thrown it quite a bit. It's pretty beat up. It's a Champion Destroyer from 2008. It's got a patent number on there. It's a super old destroyer, and that's one I'll never part with. I'm not sure it'll make it back into my bag for throwing. It's a little bit on the overstable side for me. I haven't actually tried it in a few years, so it's a sentimental one that reminded me of my time in Northern California. This is one I think I bought off eBay. It was maybe around that time actually. It's a little hard to make out, but this is a dyed DD stamped Champion Destroyer. It's always unique to see DD's mark on other brand discs, but that's what it was back in the day before they made their own. What type of shoes do you wear for disc golf? Nada, my favorite summer shoe is a La Sportiva Akasha. I haven't quite figured out the winter shoe yet. I like, waterproof for winter. I've been trying Salomon's and Adidas and different stuff with Gore-Tex. The next one I've got for you here, Ongo, is a old Champion tie-dye Valkyrie. This is some super old Champion plastic here. You can see all that kind of foggy. The plastic is breaking down. It's that fingerprint style plastic. You can see all my fingerprints I've left on there with that plastic breaking down. This is the earliest disc I remember buying myself. You know, my dad threw, so I got a lot of hand-me-downs from him, but this is the first one I remember actually buying when I was like, I'm gonna like play disc golf. I'm gonna learn how to play. And I got this 4-time Juliana Korver Champion Valkyrie. It stayed with me quite a while. I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I either traded it in at Play It Again Sports or I sold it. I'm not sure, but it ended up coming back to me. It got lost on a course, and I don't remember exactly how it came back to me, but when it did, I was like, okay, I guess I'm not selling it I should keep it for sentimental. So I did. That one stayed in the collection since then. I'm going to start skipping some of your comments here because I can tell you guys are talking to each other. Feel free to @ me if you want to make sure I see a question you have. Andrew, yeah, I think you're right. DD3 tend to have more glide than destroyers. This is the next one in my special stack here, Ongo. I think everything I've put in here is actually Innova, and that's just because I was full Innova fanboy back in the day. This one is from my time in Austin, Texas. 2017, I moved down to Austin and didn't stay very long. I had some job issues, and I intended to stay there for maybe a year or more, contemplating, figuring out if it was a place I wanted to like really move to. But when I was there and playing disc golf, I met a number of friends, and one of the fellows that I made friends with was having a car in his garage that he was trying to get fixed up, and he thought he knew what parts and everything it needed, but wasn't sure he had the skills to actually turn the wrenches and get it done. And I told him I'd be happy to help out, and this is one of the things that he gave me for helping work on his car and getting it back up and running. I've not seen this stamp anywhere else. I don't know how many of these made or where it came from, but this is like a shimmer T-bird. Someday I may throw it. Looks like nice old star. That T-bird is so clean. Yeah, I've got a pretty good collection on T-birds and some Thunderbirds. I really like different bird stamps on there. This is definitely not star or champion. Let's see if I can get how close this'll focus. It's got little bits of like shimmery stuff in there. It is luster or shimmer. I don't know how they decide which of those terms to use. It's got some milky stuff going on. That's the reflection in that light's not really showing it off. It's so pearly, I want one. Yeah, so the next two down are also T-birds. These are a couple 11-time Ken Climos. You can see, I mean, these are some old champion destroyers. It's got all that fingerprint stuff going on in the back. This red one's got a pretty good chunk on the rim. This was always kind of my backup, and this blue guy was my thrower. I had a set of these, a blue T-bird and the 11-time purple 11-time Firebird, and then also a purple eagle. I think the eagle's still around here. That Firebird, unfortunately, was in a bag that got stolen out of a car, one of my cars, but that was a sad way to lose it. But those are some of my more prized discs. Just the feel of this plastic and the way they fly is really nice. I would probably, quite possibly bag one of those again if I was down at sea level. Why are T-birds so light? The They're good for a wide variety of arm speeds, and they can cover so many different flight angles. Those probably fly real straight. Ongo, you're right. Yeah, they're very straight flyers. Hey, Doth, have you played any of the courses they play? I think the only course that I've played that is like a big tournament is De La Viega for the Masters Cup. And the next two that I've got for you here, Ongo, are a couple of AVRs. I've wiped the stamp on both of these. They are, yeah, we were talking about Tennessee earlier in Sinks Canyon. This I had my 8th ace at on the 12th hole in Sinks. So I aced with this in March 21st, 2009. Just a couple really old beat up star AVRs. I don't know. These just have a similar feel of plastic in those two T-birds. How long would you say it takes to break in champion plastic? A season of solid use. So I got 3 left in my story stack here for you, Ongo. The next one is, like, this actually would be a contender for like that bag that I just built with, you know, the 12 discs I get to throw forever. This definitely could be my putter. This putter has gone through more than probably any other disc I have, just for like how many throws it's gone through and whatnot. It's a Ken Climo. I think it's 11 time. It is, yeah. So this is again in the 11 time era for Ken Climo, KC Pro Big Beat AVR. This is just a tank. It's super worn, really beat up, just seasoned nicely. Hard to get a replacement for. Man, I wish I had known about disc golf in 2009. 11 good years of discing missed. Yeah, you know, I didn't disc golf through that entire time. I spent a whole lot of it as a crazy avid rock climber. A lot of my traveling and whatnot is just from rock climbing. Preference on the stamp wipes? Yeah, I think just clean discs look really nice sometimes. So I experimented with that a fair bit, doing full wipes and partial wipes. At Doth, how close were you to where they want to host Worlds over in Utah? I'm there. That's like a 20-30 minute drive. One of the courses they are going to play Worlds on is amazing, and the other I really don't like. The golf course, the Mulligans is what it's called. There's footage of it played for Utah Open. Lots of water. It's an open bomber course. I don't enjoy playing it. I don't enjoy watching people play on that course either, but everybody's got different opinions on that. So the new course at Fort Buenaventura is a top-level world-class course, and it just went in recently. Like, the amount of work they've put into it is insane. Second to last in the list is another AVR, an older Ken Climo. This is a 10-time KC Pro, and that's got the old classic Innova bar stamp style stamp on there. It's just a really cool one. I feel like that golf course is really close to being good. Some holes there need to be reworked. It does have nice views. You get to see mountains in the background. That does make the footage of it a little bit nicer. And then the last disc that I pulled out for the show Ongo is another AVR. I don't know how old this AVR is. This was one of my dad's putters. Most of his like favorite discs ended up getting handed down to my brother because I moved away from home way earlier than my brother did, and I think at the time where my dad was like really ready to let the rest of his discs go, my brother was also like super into disc golf. I don't know if he still plays or not, but a lot of the discs went his way, and I only have so many left from my dad, but this is one of them. It's got to be old, and it's a super old disc. Lots of wear on it. I've got plenty more discs that mean different things to me, but these are the ones that have some of the most, the best memories or the most sentimental to me. Have you heard of Silver Creek? Would you want to play there? Silver Creek sounds familiar, Elite 30, but I'm not sure what course that is. What do you use for a roller disc from one knee out of a bush? If depending on how far I need to go, Nada, a lot like my get out of jail free full scramble disc is a D-line FD. I really like D-line FDs, but potentially that would be a Firebird or a putter. Kind of depending on what I want the roller to do. Most open bomber courses are overrated. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the open bomber courses, littlest things. That new course, Fort Buenaventura, that Worlds next year is going to be at is not an open bomber course, though. That is for sure. 2 Chainz Aviator, that's got to be pre-99. Yeah. It might be from the 80s. Like it wouldn't surprise me if it was from the 80s, but I don't know. Favoritism. They play a disc golf Pro Tour event at Silver Creek. Oh, I'm sure I know what it is then. If I looked it up, I bet I seen it. Difference between DX and Pro D. I don't have any Pro D from Discraft, so I'm not sure. It's in Wisconsin. Huh. I'm not sure how much the stream's run so long I might kill my second battery. I've got a power cord for that thing, but I haven't tested it out yet. Do you think that for most people the durability of Champ really outweighs the price of DX, given that the average player probably loses a fair amount of discs? It's hard to say there, Mando. Part of the value in buying a champion disc is that its flight changes less dramatically over time than a DX if you don't lose it, and that's both a good and a bad thing, but if you're doing it right, then that does add value. Elite 30, I liked the Preserve. It is open and bomber, but for that style, I don't think it's the worst. What was your favorite course in Austin, Texas? Oh man, put me on the spot to remember their names. I know what course it was, but I'm struggling to pull the name of it out. Have to call tonight, tell Lola she's a great pupper. Thanks, littlest. Yep, I'll let her know. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Yes, it is Roy G. Duhai. They told me that a lot of times Roy G is kind of overgrown, but it was in exceptional shape the time that I was there, and I just couldn't get enough of that course. There's something about the length of those holes, the fact that there is like real defined fairways, yet just like the perfect mix of trees in the fairways, and the rough is rough, like you get punished. I really enjoy Roy G. It's perfect right now, I bet. Cal set the layout out well to require good upshots and approaches off the tee. I feel it was a little too open. Off the tee, I feel it was a little too open. I can't disagree with that. Yeah, Roy G is the one I hear about the most. There's a lot of good courses there, but Roy G is pretty special. I think this is about to be my longest stream. It's got to be pretty close. I streamed for it was over 2 hours, I think, the first stream that I did, but this isn't me, it's you guys. Firing off all the questions. You're making up the content as we go. The long distance players prevailed. Eagle, Simon, and Calvin at the preserve. I didn't watch all of that. I think maybe only the final round, so it's not really ingrained in my memory. Yes, all three of them are top players in ways other than just their... Commander was 2 hours, 37 minutes. So we are YouTube creators now? Yeah. You are, Crystal. Enigma, 2 hours, 10 minutes. Oh, I thought I only had one or two that was over 2 hours. Nice stash, son. Thanks, Jacob. When is the pizza party? Wednesday after your surgery? That sounds pretty good. Do you like KC Pro AVRs for throwing? Do they beat into a straight driving putter? Yeah, KC Pro will beat in quite a bit. I do prefer the small bead AVRs for throwing, to be honest. Just for, they're a little bit more consistent for me to get release angles on compared to a big bead. Tell me that topping list you said earlier. I'm going to order it. Okay. You got something to write with or type it in. It's pepperoni, sausage, onion, black olives, and jalapeno. Elite 30, I did putt with JKs and I loved them, and then the plastic just changed on them too much. Like the current JKs or the JKs that I've been, even through the last 7 years or something, I've looked at JKs on occasion and the plastic just doesn't do it for me anymore. my putt has evolved a little bit over time, and I've turned into a little bit more of a spin putter, and I do appreciate the harder plastic of the KCs for that, but like the best I've ever putted is with some very old JK AVRs. I miss the Enigma stream. What's your general thought of the Enigma? You throw it much? The Enigmas that I've thrown the most are in their Forge plastic, which is like the Champion Sparkle or whatever, and they're pretty beefy. Because of my elevation and my lack of ability to throw like 500 feet, I can't get a whole lot out of them, turn or whatever. The vapor ones that they came out with, which I had a bunch in the stream, those actually aren't mine, and so I really haven't thrown those to see what their different is. Favorite pro to watch? Not sure on that. I definitely enjoy. I'm kind of a Calvin fan right now. I like watching Calvin. Save that pizza list as the Doth. Nice. I have changed to liking more stiff plastic also, Sep. Yeah. For putting? Yeah, that makes sense. KC Pro Rock thoughts? KC Pro Rocks fly amazing. I was pretty invested in DX and KC Pro Rocks for a number of years, and their flight is great. It's not my favorite hand feel, and I was, full blown Innova fanboy at the time and really tried to make it work. And once I started trying other things, I've never gone back. Not because they don't fly well. I really enjoy how they beat in. I think that's great. It's just, it's a hand feel thing. Does anyone else find it weird to watch Paul throw Discraft and not Innova? Not really. I don't mind watching him throw different things. I'm actually not sure. I thought I still had a few old KC Pro Rocks, but I don't see one immediately. Maybe I did sell or trade them all. Paul could crush with any brand of discs. I agree, Nasser. What fits your KC Rock slot these days? So, like with what I put in the bag this bag right now, that would cover what I would do with the KC Rock, it's somewhere between a Comet and a Habit for me. I think the Castoplast Sphia is just going to be right there as well. Paige is fun to watch also, David. Yeah, I really like Paige. It just feels odd to me due to the fact that he's been with Innova through 4 world championships and then switched. Yeah. Nico with the $5. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Could you show us your top 10 or 5 minis? Yeah, I can show you through my stack of minis. I got all kinds of little mini things going on here. I think this one is really sweet. This is Tim. Oh gosh, I feel bad that I've forgotten his name. A Discraft sponsored player. Tim McDill. This is the same stamp, but it's got his name in this one. It's a wood mini with his cool bear logo on there. It's hard to see all the details in that one maybe, but you can see a little bit more clearly in this. It's a really cool stamp, and I like it on that wood mini. It's a DG Nomad mini, so even though it's wood, it's carved out with the bevel of a disc under there. And then my buddy Zach does some pretty good handiwork with these, burning into wood, and then this has epoxy over it, so it's nice and thick. It's a really cool design, done with laser engraved sort of thing in the wood. That's the same process that he created, burned this one for me. This doesn't have epoxy on it, so it's more like it's pretty thin. It's maybe a little bit more like a coaster. And then with that, same thing in mind, here's some other done just into wood. Like you can see, I've used this one as a coaster a lot, but there's really no reason you can't use them as a mini. There's another one done with epoxy on it. So those are all pretty special ones. And then I've got a few oldies in here. Here's a 2007 Ice Bowl. I don't know where I got this from. No wimps, no whiners is what it says. This was from an event I actually attended, 2006 World's Biggest Disc Golf Weekend, a little Whammo mini. So I was at that event in 2006. Here's another old one, event I went to from 2008. I can't remember the name of the event, but it was kind of a memorial. Gone but never forgotten, Fish on Robbie. I don't know who that Robbie guy is, but it was a memorial tournament for him. And then this is the one I got from the PDGA. That's my PDGA number, 36778. I think I registered in 2008, something like that. I really like the bigger style minis like this one. This is a Fossa, and then I've got a number of them from Solitude Mountain Resort. These bigger ones are kind of my favorite. I like that style. A bunch of other random ones in here, but censor your PDGA number. I'm not scared of you, Sep. The PDGA and Solitude are super sick. Thanks for showing us. Yeah, you're welcome, Nico. For sure. We done it, guys. We cracked the 3-hour mark. Thoughts on Thunderbird, preference for plastic? I really like the Color Glow Thunderbirds. Madison Walker, these are awesome. I went through a period of time where I was throwing a lot of thumbers, and these are my favorite thumber discs. I straight up just throw them backhand also, down at sea level. Let's see the trad rack. My trad rack is pretty pitiful, Nasser. I've not done a whole lot of trad climbing, more mixed climbing. Honestly, what I use that gear for is bolting. My trad gear is, yeah, it's a tiny, shiny, and oddly put together trad rack. But it's got me through all the anchor building that I've needed while I'm bolting new routes and swinging into roofs to place a couple pieces so that I can, drill and put in expansion bolts. 3 hours and you got me through my report draft. Awesome, David. Thank you. Elite 30, how do they fly? I'm not sure what to compare them to. I would have to know some things that you throw that might be close. They're between a T-bird and a Firebird. When you play in a foursome, are there any scoring variants you've tried? I just, if I'm like want to try something a little bit different, or want to pick up speed of play or something, I'll flip discs for doubles. I like playing best shot doubles. That's pretty much the only other format that I play. Thanks, Big Red. Let's see the quick draws then. I've gone through a lot of quick draws over the years. I had a bunch stolen at one point. It's kind of a long story. I did end up getting them back though. And somebody got sent to the hospital. That wasn't my doing. What would be the best way to get into climbing? Definitely want to get into it. James, it's really best done with a mentor. It's, there's a lot of dangerous things going on. And it can be a little bit tricky to find a good mentor that, actually prioritizes safety correctly. I would say a gym is definitely the best way to start. Most gyms have some introductory classes, and then, they'll even do belay classes and some classes on technique and stuff like that. That's where I would start. It'll help you get comfortable just on the wall and familiar with some of the movement, and you'll be able to do it in an environment that has padded floors and whatnot. And a lot of times through that process, you're going to meet people that are kind of starting out, potentially like you are, and that can be a great way to get into it. Climbing gyms tend to be pretty social, so over time, you'll probably find somebody that can help you get to whatever climbing level you want to be at. I had time to sand and stain an 8-foot shelf during this live stream. Nice, Big Red. Best shot singles. So each person throws twice. I've not tried that. You get if there's an odd man out during doubles, then one person plays Cali or best shot, I think, as you're describing it, or one extra shot per hole. I've done that before. Doth/everyone. What dream foursome card would you want to be on? you'd pick Paige Pierce, Eagle, and AJ. David, nice. I like it. I want to play on that card too. I might just steal yours. That sounds perfect. Stumbled onto this. Why so many bags? Ivan, over the last, started quite a while ago, but really just with one bag that I wanted to buy but couldn't find any reviews on it. So I ended up buying it and making a review video, and found that I enjoyed that process, and one thing led to the next, and I just keep reviewing bags and buying new ones to review. And some companies are even sending me bags now to review. I definitely don't use this many. These, a few of them will remain mine and I'll keep them, but most of them are somewhere in the review process, and I'll end up selling them when I'm done. I'm not just like a huge collector. I definitely am an enthusiast. Elite 30, not like a super dome champ Firebird, but I've thrown some Firebirds with dome. You're welcome, James. Yep, for sure. Can you do disc videos with how they fly for you? Elite 30, yeah, that's like near the top of my list right now. I'm almost $3,000 that I've spent on equipment within the last month, the last few weeks, in order to make that happen. I'm still a learning curve with the new equipment, so it's going to take a little bit of time before I kind of hit my rhythm and start getting reviews out. But yes, that's very high on my list. I actually had some time carved out with a local player to do a disc review today, and we had scheduling problems. It didn't end up happening, but I am working on it. Sep, I'm not sure which documentary that is or which climber it talks about, but if it's probably Alex Honnold, maybe. Your destroyer analysis video blew my mind. So helpful, easy to find the right one now. Awesome, Dave. I'm glad you got some good info out of it. Sweet man, that's really unique since you have so many recommendations for a minimalist bag that can at least hold a hoodie. Ivan, one of the bags we've talked about multiple times this stream, and I don't know, it does keep coming up. This bag in particular, I really do like the Fossa Skinny. Just because you said the word minimalist, it did come to mind. It doesn't have like a dedicated pouch big enough to hold a large hoodie, but you can definitely set aside a certain amount of discs or spot in the main area instead of discs and put a hoodie in there. I do have a full review of that bag on my channel. Another bag that comes to mind when you say that, Ivan, is the Upper Park Designs Shift. Unfortunately, that's a bag that has been out of stock for quite a long time. Upper Parks does have a new version of that bag coming, 2021 version. No ETA on release or how much it will be changed, but it's an awesome lightweight, kind of minimalist style bag. Definitely can fit a hoodie in there. I think you could really advance your viewer income by doing those reviews. Yeah, I think you're right, Elite 30. Some of my disc videos have done the best. I'm rethinking the format in which to do them. Like those destroyer videos and the force that I've put out. They're long form, really focusing on a whole bunch of technical specs, and I don't think that's always the way to go. If there's a bunch of variation in one type of disc, then yeah, I think it's great to show people how to figure that out. But I think people are more interested in maybe, I don't know what people are interested in, but the format that I want to experiment with is to talk with the local player, for example, that is really invested in one disc and have conversations with them about why they like that disc, how they use it, what it replaced, what disc did they used to use that fit that slot, and have that conversation while I'm out on a course with them and record their throws with that disc, and ideally have the same disc myself and throw it and try to copy their lines. And like that's how my rounds go, is talking back and forth with my friends about what different lines discs can fly and whether we can pull them off. And I think it would be really cool just to have that whole thing on tape. I don't know how long those videos would be. That might be a 10-minute long video. It might be a 40-minute long video. But I think it'd be a really cool way to show off our other, some of our really good local players. And, they have way more experience with the discs than I could ever get. So I think it could be great to show off their skills, what discs they like, and then also I can do my thing at the same time. When you are in Madison, we will do a Nova video. Ongo, I'm down. No promise, but yeah, if I'm there, let's do it. Crystal, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Yeah, it is getting late. It's getting late for me too. Just after 9 p.m. here now. I got up at 4 this morning. I was up at 4 o'clock, so it's been a long day for me already. And my camera battery still looks like it's doing okay though. That's good. Oh yeah, free solo is Honnold's Dawn Wall free climb. I do believe I have watched that one. Would you ever do Patreon sub rounds if we are visiting Utah anytime? 100%, David. I think that format could be extremely successful, especially if you get down the vlogging part of it. The formats that the pros use, like Simon, I also enjoy quite a lot. Yeah, Elite 30, I mean, it's going to, I'm going to have to get better with the camera. I'm no stranger to using cameras, but I've not done a whole lot of video work. I have a dual wireless lav mic system, so I can mic up 2 people with lav mic. So I'll have one, and then my guest will have a lav mic. And as we're walking down the fairway and chit-chat and whatnot, it'll be hard to get the camera on my face, on their face, whatever. But hopefully at least the audio will be good, and then we'll have enough throws in that I can just copy some of that throwing footage and replay those throws a few times while you're listening to our conversations about the disc. And then possibly pull it right back in here too, so I can kind of voice over the whole thing here and kick back and forth to being in my room versus being out on the course. Yeah, it's just going to be an experiment, but I really like the idea. I want to see where that can go. I can only watch so much Simon. I like him, but too much at once gets old. Have to space it out. And I can't say I've really gotten tired of Simon. I enjoy his personality. He comes across as like a very genuine guy to me. I don't know, I'd be intimidated on a vlog versus that mustache. Well, I'll probably be wearing a mask anyways, Sep, so you can just maybe I'll draw a mustache. Should I draw a mustache on my face mask? Maybe. Yeah, Casey seems like a good guy too. A little camera shy, but he's kind of gotten cracked out of his shell a little bit. Who do you watch besides Simon? Yeah, Disc Golf Nerd. I also watch everything that Poor Boy Disc Golf puts out and Old Guy Disc Golf. Those are the ones that I kind of keep up on. The bigger there's a number of bigger name guys out there, and that just becomes too much content. I honestly really like watching some of the smaller channels. Sep's all about the DGA, disc golf comedy. Yep. Tyler stuff is good. I definitely watch the disc golf comedy and the DGA stuff. I like Tyler's stream too. Really watching Tyler's stream is what was kind of like, hey, I should do this. I can stream disc golf stuff. I have everything I need to stream disc golf stuff. Let's go. Highest gaming streams are good too. Oh, so yeah, we're talking outside of disc golf content, I watch way more. I watch Twitch. I watch people game on Twitch. I spend way more time watching Twitch than YouTube. Do you like to turn discs over on backhand, or will you prefer to use a forehand? It depends on the line. I am a backhand dominant guy, but I'm very capable forehand. Nico, currently what I'm watching the most is DayZ. I love watching Smoke play DayZ. And then that has gotten me onto a couple other DayZ streamers. The Running Man, Evangeline is another DayZ streamer that I just found recently. But more than that, in the past, it's all Escape from Tarkov. I watch a lot of Escape from Tarkov. That's how I found Smoke, and then ended up becoming a DayZ fan, was through EFT. Elite 30, I'm not sure what new Prodigy baskets you're talking about. You've been watching your bud McQuack stream Stone Shard? I don't even know what Stone Shard is. Does he stream on Twitch? You have to shoot me a link to his send me a link to his Twitch. I'll definitely come hang out. Or tell me what his name is on Twitch. I'll find it. I've streamed on Twitch a little bit. Playing some Escape from Tarkov. Prodigy T3s. Well, that looks super weird. I don't like it. What? Is a single layer? Yeah, I'm not into it. It's the only single shell target approved for championship play. No thanks. I mean, I'd have to putt on it really to say, but just looking at it, I do not like the idea. Huh, stone shard. Yeah, that sounds interesting. That's not my style of game to play, but I watch all kinds of games. One of my good buddies, Gnome Acid, I in his stream quite often, and he plays way more games than I even know. Yeah, a lot of spin out and push outs. I agree, and pull outs. It just doesn't look like it would. It doesn't look like it would catch very well. It's probably a lot cheaper to make. Chain's kind of expensive, you know. So it may drop the cost a lot. Favorite overstable mid? Joseph, I've kind of been throwing a tactic in that spot. I know it's not truly a mid, but it pretty much does everything that I need an overstable mid to do. The next disc that I have been testing and do enjoy, but it's not been in my last couple bags, is a drone. I think the drone is great. Slightly less beefy than that is a MD4. I'm all about MD4s. I love MD4s. I think T3s kick baskets sometimes because discs get caught in the horizontal chains as they are falling. Oh, so it kind of grabs the nose? Yeah. Stops the disc from dropping. Yep, I could see that. After all these years, is there yet a better lineup than Destroyer, Firebird, T-Bird, Rock? I mean, I think the problem with that lineup is mainly the first two, the Destroyer and Firebird. It's yes, they're both great because they both vary so crazily. And that's both a good thing and a bad thing. If you're willing to hunt, you can find a Destroyer that's going to work. And if you're willing to hunt, you can find a Firebird that'll work. What slot does the Sphia cover? It's for me, it in my mind, it's covering an understable fairway slot, but it's actually an understable mid-range. Thoughts on Gator? Is it viable for overstable approach? Is it too close to Champ Rock 3 as a mid-range? I have not been a Gator thrower, so I can't really honestly answer that. I think it's a lot shorter than a Champ Rock 3, though. Way more overstable. Step is going to drop the Hurricane, Hellfire, Pipeline, Squall. I do like the Hurricane. I have one Hellfire, but I still have yet to really get to throw it. David, you like the Tactic in hard or soft? I like it in Vapor. So not the Exo Hard, not Exo Soft, in the Vapor plastic. The Vapor Tactic is just an amazing disc. You got an amazing, awesome stamp from a site called Electric Discs. Yeah, I've heard that there's differences between the hard and soft, even in stability, but and I do have a couple, but I haven't thrown them enough to really say. Yeah, I think there's Rock 3 and Gator are far enough apart. It would make sense to bag both. Okay, we're actually pushing my battery now. So I really do need to end, or my screen's going to drop, and that'll be a crummy way to go out. A video I would really enjoy watching is you explaining dummy versus flat and its effects on stability, along with the differences at low speed versus high speed. Differences low speed, high speed pertaining to dome versus flat, or something else for low speed to high speed? Thanks, Nico. David, pizza party, I'm in. Let's do it. You're welcome, Dave. Sep, good to see you. David, yep, thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. Okay, Elite 30. I'll have to chew on that one a bit and think about it. I appreciate the request. Ooh, $8 each for Rock 3X. That's... Oh, on Rock 3s, but it had a Rock 3X stamp. That's awesome. That's a great price, Gavin. S-Bear, thanks. Thanks for stopping by. Counterstripe, appreciate it. I'm going to message you on Patreon here shortly. When I get off, I'll go right to those messages. Darth Savage, I like it. See you in Slack. You got it. Fun as always. Thanks, Big Red. Nada, thanks for stopping by. James, yep, I'm glad you're here. Appreciate it. Elite 30, he'll head out. Yeah. You can't. I don't think you can hang out and chat once I click end. It drops the whole thing. So appreciate all the good vibes, man. It's fun to hang out with everybody tonight. So we'll catch you in the next one. I'll be up again next.